Okay, so I just made a classification vision model on Edge Impulse for the Maker 100 Eco in this area. So let's now switch it over to FOMO. And I'm just going to show you a couple little tricks here. So what we did was we grabbed a whole bunch of pictures of pens and pictures of just backgrounds. And what we're going to do is switch it to, so they're just backgrounds here. We're going to switch it to FOMO. And let's go into the dashboard. And actually, first, I'm going to go filter. I'm going to only filter the pens. And now, I'm only going to show the unknowns because I actually want to get rid of these. Typically, it'd be nice if I could enable and disable, but I think it's just easier to delete them. It took seconds to take a bunch of pictures. So now when we go to data, we should only have pens. Great. Now I'm going to go over to the dashboard, come down here. We're still on the ESP but we're going to switch to bounding boxes. And what that's going to do is switch it into object detection mode, but now data is going to look a little different because we're going to have a labeling queue. And 44 is not great, but it's still fine for demonstration. I might even get rid of a few of them. So we need to, while that's working, I'm just going to go to devices. And I found out that connecting a cell phone is a lot better because since I'm recording and stuff, the computer kind of locked up. But I'm going to do this anyway. I'm not going to switch to classification mode. And at the moment, I don't need the camera on. So I'm just going to leave that set up. Let's go to data acquisition and let's click on the labeling queue. And all we're doing, why do we even have unknowns? Did I delete the wrong ones? That would be very, very bad of me. Let's just go have a few. No, that's a pen. That's a pen. What's going on with my labeling queue? Okay, let's go into the label queue. I'm just going to delete that. I don't know why that's there. Hopefully, oh, this is weird. Okay, I'm gonna figure out what's going on because I thought I deleted all those. As far as I can tell, I just had like 3 pictures that had the background. So what I want to do is label it. Remember, I always put a digit in front, so it just makes the programming part easier. Let's shrink the screen down a little bit and save, and it should auto detect the next one. And I'm just gonna fly through here. I can move this down a little bit. I can make it a little bit bigger. That's the whole deal with labeling. Some people hate doing this. Some people find it kind of peaceful. Um, I think I'm more on the side that hates doing it. I'm going to pause. Reminder, there are a couple of other ways of tracking stuff. You can switch to YOLO, but you see it's finding other things there, so that's not super useful. I'm not even really sure what that one is, but it seems to be fine with that. Oh, didn't like the labels. I'm just going to switch back to the one I was using. That seems fine. So it's trying to find the things. Uh, and we're almost done. You can look up at the queue. We got 5 left. Let's just see what we're doing. And we're almost done. Strangely, that one didn't work, so I have to enter the one. Do not spell this differently. Make sure it's exactly the same. There we go. So now we go create the impulse. I'm just, to be on the safe side, going to delete those old ones. I would stick with the 96 by 96 and add the defaults. Object, we're not doing brain, we're not doing YOLO. It's just the top one. Typically it's the top one. Now we only want one feature because the background is all the stuff that wasn't in the bounding box, so you don't have to train it on an unknown. So now to image, I know this one definitely has to be grayscale for when putting on microcontrollers, and we need to generate the features. I'm going to pause. Okay, so here's the Feature Explorer. We're going to switch over to object detection. Once again, I'm going to crank that up simply because I can. I've never even seen these advanced settings, but we're just doing the default. So let's get this going. Remember, the loss is about how bad it is, and we want the loss to be reduced. So hopefully it'll show the loss up here somewhere. Now, FOMO is quite a bit different from vision classification because FOMO can do multiple objects, and it can give you an X, Y, and a Z. I wouldn't concentrate too much on the width and the height. It's more a centroid. But the X and the Y is really interesting. I use it on our toy self-driving cars to figure out if an object's on the left or the right or in the middle. Anyway, here's the loss. It's starting at 1.5, 1.4, 1.1. So it's going down. And that's all we really need to know. I'm going to pause. Okay, so let's check it out. We're at 86%. Remember, I don't really care too much about these percents because once it's on a microcontroller, everything's different. But, it's better to have higher numbers than low numbers. So we're going to go back to our camera. Hopefully it won't fry my programming. So give access to the camera. There I am. And we want to switch to classification mode, which I don't think there'll be a problem with this, but it did take a long time, so I'm going to pause. Okay, here we go. So, inference, there. Now, interesting that it's not so good this time, but you're getting the concept. It's just, there we go. So its confidence is 0.67, so about 60%. But what's interesting is this centroid, can't show it on the screen, has an X and a Y value that you could get on the microcontroller. Now what's really good with FOMO is you can have multiple objects if they're actually going to work. Oops, get my rights and lefts mixed up. And this is kind of the trick when programming. I'm surprised the classification was so much faster than, well, it's going quickly. The inference time is 1 millisecond, but it's not terribly good. So hopefully as students, you guys can get better results. It's much better when they're all showing up. I've had numbers, that one's pretty stable right there. Look at the inference time, 1 millisecond. On your microcontroller, if you can get it even close to 100 milliseconds per inference, that's great. This is so quick because we're on a computer. I'm going to try to close this window. Yeah, my computer seems a little bit safer this time. Okay, sound and motion should be pretty much the same thing on your cell phone. You collect the data and go through Creator Impulse. It won't be sound it won't be image, but it'll be similar. Anyway, have a good day.